Simply put, it's an artifact of historical, archaeological, or paleontological interest found in an unusual context, which challenges the conventional historical chronology by its presence in that context. Now, my story of just such a piece began in the summer of 2014, and I was walking the banks of the Saginaw River. And on that day, my main objective was to find some really cool fossils. Oftentimes you find nice coral fossils along the bank there. But what I found instead, in my estimation, is way cooler, with quite an incredible backstory, if I am correct. My find was quite unusual, and after some research, my thought turned to out-of-place artifacts. This stone, let me show you the arrow I added. This stone, though, has an iron inclusion, which to me displays an unnatural angle. Now, actually, this inclusion, which is iron, looks like it was something that was squashed, and there's an opening in the center of it. And so, in that iron inclusion was this, what looks like a square-cut nail that fell from the matrix when I picked up the unusual stone, and it was in it at a side angle like that, and it fell away when I picked up the stone. Presumably, these pieces would be as old or older than its parent rock, or the matrix which it is resting. Now, that would make the iron quite old, and it should not be there. To my estimation, it would date back to pre-Noah's flood, so no more than 6,000 years or so, which is significantly old. But on the other hand, science would give the host rock perhaps an age of millions of years. Now, again, looking at this from a science standpoint, the inclusions of the two iron artifacts would predate the presence of mankind here on Earth. The nail, if that's what it is, looks to be similar to an old-fashioned square-cut nail, which I find an abundance of, but slightly different. This possibly ancient nail is flat and thin, and the top shape is also sort of unusual. It is almost like a T, a flat T, and again quite thin, though thicker than the actual body of the nail. So it's unusual. One question I have, and don't have the answer, is this. If these are just iron inclusions that somehow form naturally, which I don't know is possible or not, then why have they not just rusted away over the decades or centuries or thousands of years? Perhaps the iron is of a different composition, making it more resistant to rust. That is a possibility and not unheard of. But that would not be without precedence. Consider the iron pillar of Delhi in India. It is estimated to be 1,600 years old and has not rusted at all. It is attributed to the Chandragupta II dynasty, and it weighs in at a colossal 6 tons. Famous for its rust-resistant composition of metals used in its manufacture, that we have not really been able to ascertain what the additives are that have made it rust-resistant. It has been suggested that there are components unknown to us that were added by its creators. Well, that much would be obvious. There's something different about it, and the only place it could come from would be the people who had created the piece. Now, this could be the case with the nail and the small inclusion in the stone. And I hope one day to be able to have an analysis done to show for the actual composition of it, if it does have something that was added to it. But here are my conclusions based on what I've read and what I see when I examine this. This piece has no association at all with the Native American cultures that resided here in Saginaw, Michigan. nor is it associated with any historic era concerns. I believe, as I've said, it is pre-Noah's flood. It is beginning to be understood that there was indeed a worldwide culture more advanced than we are today before the flood, and evidence of that abounds around us. I mean, it is abundant. Much more significant evidence than this, or the New Delhi, or the Delhi column in India. There are many, though, artifacts and structures which do support this. As a creationist, this makes sense to me. When this advanced culture existed, mankind was not that long out of the Garden of Eden. Mankind had a mind that had not yet, the full weight of Adam and Eve's sin had not yet begun to erode man's intelligence. They were very smart. Now we have devolved in that time, in my opinion, rather than having evolved. But that, however, is fodder for another time, and we'll look at that sometime. So I'm interested in what you all think. Are these two pieces from historic times? Are they ancient and possibly pre-flood? Or perhaps you have a different idea altogether. I would love it if you would share your ideas with me. It's a very strange piece, and I'd like to know what you think. So thanks for taking the time to watch, and God willing, I'll be back with you all again real soon. I pray His blessing upon each and every one of you on the other side of that monitor. God bless you. Love you much.